Example 1.8 is the single note version of 1.9. What's special about this one, the only variation that we actually see, is the draw chord, or the single note right now leading to a draw chord in a moment, on the and of 4, the upbeat after 4. It's very common to hear a player play a draw chord in anticipation to the next bar. The chordal version, the one you're going to practice, is 1.9. I recommend that you play the downbeat of beat 1 a little bit louder, because that's what that draw and of 4 pickup is leading towards. All right, with the metronome, 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 1.10 is very similar to a line that James Cotton played in the opening of a very rhythmic song. We start with a 1 draw. If you tongue switch, go ahead and start with your tongue to the right. If you pucker your 1s, just pucker your 1, and then move to a tongue block for hole 2. If you tongue switch, make sure you move back for hole 2. So we get, practice that a couple times. Now that your tongue is on the harmonica, this chord can be played one of 3 ways. You can just take your tongue off and play the chord. You can use a ta to articulate, so your tongue's off the harmonica again. Or if you've studied tongue block study 3, which teaches the technique of the pull, you can make that a pull there. So experiment with those different ways for sounding that chord. Then you're going to put your tongue back on the harmonica for 2-3-2. Again, 1 breath sliding, and then take your tongue off again for the 1-2 chord. Again, you could use no articulation, just breathe. You can use a ta, or you can use the technique of the pull. Here's what it sounds like slowly. Let's put it with the metronome at 66 beats per minute. 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to bring up the tempo, because this originally was actually quite fast. Let's go to 88. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's bring it up to 116, because when Cotton played this opening, it was moving pretty well. Here we go. Nice and catchy. Example 1.11 is the single note version of 1.12. Let me play it for you. Now that leads us to 1.12. You're going to tongue block your 2, take your tongue off, put it back on for the 2 blow, leave it there for the 2 draw, take it off for the 1-2 chord. You're going to play that 1-2 chord twice. If you want to, you can articulate the second 1-2 chord, so you can go ha, ta, if you wish, and then back to 2 blow tongue block, then take your tongue off again. The neat thing about this is your mouth stays in one spot. And I am using the d or t. By the way, d is just a softer version of ta. Ta ta ta, da da da, ta ta ta, da da da. Anyways, so you'll hear me every now and again talk about t or d, ta or da. Ta is a little bit more explosive, and the da is a little bit softer in sound. So I'm using that on the second draw chord. Neat thing, just to be able to stay on 2 holes to play this pattern. This is my very favorite pattern of all the solo harmonica studies. Anyways, it's my pattern. It's one I've come up with. I like it a lot though. It's my go-to pattern. So let's go ahead and play it at 69 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 1.13 is the single note version of 1.14. This is the Charleston rhythm. Charleston, Charleston. The rhythm is, let's use our metronome for this. I'm going to speed it up a tiny bit. Let's go to 80. The first note's on the downbeat, 1. And the second note's on the up of 2. So we get 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. Da, 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 da. Practice with me. Da, da, down, up. If we speed it up a little bit, down, up, down, up. Da, 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 da. This is a rhythm that's used a lot in accompaniment. The most common rhythm you'll use in accompaniment as a harmonica player. If you know how to use a tremolo, put it on your second note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Playing the single note version, I'm using a ka articulation. I'm tongue blocking it right now. When our tongue's off the harmonica, we can use a ta. When our tongue's on the harmonica, since the front of the tongue is on the face of the harmonica, it's busy, we're going to use the ka. Ka, and just like the T is the stronger version of D, T compared to D, the K is stronger Ga than the Ga. Ka, 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 ga, ga, ga. They're interchangeable. You use whichever one that sounds good for that passage. So I'm going ka, ka. Sounds a little sharper, a little better to me than just breathing. All right, so 1.14. I'm using my ka, ka. Taking my tongue off for the 1-2 chord, putting it back on the 2 blow, taking it off again for the 1-2, and back on the 2 draw. Again, when your tongue comes off, you can either use a pull, a ta, a ka if you want, but usually it's going to be a pull or a ta, or no articulation at all. All right, with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a little slower. 72 beats per minute. 2, 3, 4. Our last example for section 1 is 1.15. In this one, we're going to use the ta-ka-ta articulation. So T and K. Ta-ka-ta. Ta-ka-ta. Now keep your mouth open. Ta-ka-ta. Ta-ka-ta. Inhale. Ta-ka-ta. Ta-ka-ta. Here we go. This is very commonly used in the groove called the tramp. I'll show you that whole pattern as we move into solo harmonica study 3. Ta-ka-ta. Nice articulation. I'm going to put the metronome at 100 beats per minute. 2, 3, 4. Now for some fun, I'm going to put those little riffs in between, but you still play the ta-ka-ta. 1, 2, here we go.